What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing tonight? I hope you're doing well. So Ukraine is under an air raid alert right now. And we also have a B-52 again going down into the Mediterranean. Sorry if I'm a little bit late. Things have just been very crazy the last few days. Just going to wait for everybody to show up. Just going to give it a couple minutes for everyone to show up here. How's it going, Peggy McGuire, Joe Romanino, Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival, Ross Niderman, Country Christian, Fishing with Campbell, how's it going? Rodney Middleton, Sabrina G, Growing, Amy Sturdivant, EM, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Yes, I can start off with a prayer. Absolutely. I can definitely do that. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you again, EM, for that donation. I appreciate it. So we're just going to give it another minute or so, waiting for everybody to show up here. We have some interesting stuff going on. Earlier today, we had some nuclear attack options that were going out to bombers. I have a clip of one. There was a lot of nuclear attack options broadcasted earlier today. Right now we do have this B-52 nuclear bomber airborne over the Mediterranean. Let me just show you guys a larger picture of that. So here we have a B-52 just took off from England, and it is now heading into the Mediterranean right here. 382 knots is its speed, and it's being accompanied by 2 aerial refuelers. So that's pretty unusual. We also have this U.S. Navy reconnaissance drone flying into the Black Sea, which is actually unusual. Normally they send in the Air Force RQ-4 Global Hawk, the Forte Global Hawks, and this appears to be the first time that a MQ-4C Triton is going into the Black Sea. So that's pretty interesting. And we do have a U.S. reconnaissance asset that was just patrolling the border of Poland and Ukraine. There was a massive air raid alert just in the last couple of hours, last 2-3 hours. There was a massive air raid alert for Ukraine. So Ukraine must have gotten hit pretty hard tonight I'm going to find out what kind of damage was done from that strike. Andrew Pickett, thank you so much for the donation. Good to see you. Just giving it another minute or two for everyone to show up. LaDonna says, proud to be American. Yeah, America's one of the greatest countries on earth. Absolutely. You should be proud. Vanessa, how's it going? T.W. Perry. Angela Dunn, good to see you. Scott Dykstra, thank you for the donation. So, we have some very serious stuff going on, guys. So if you missed my updates, just let me recap what's been going on. So Russia has started their second phase of tactical nuclear weapons exercises. And what's concerning about this second phase is that they did exercises with units that were stationed along the Finnish border. So basically, they did tactical nuclear drills right next to Finland and the Baltic countries for the first time. And these are not drills, guys. These are forward deployments, okay? Russia doesn't do exercises. They call these things exercises, but they're really just forward deployments. They're arming the missiles, putting them into the launchers. They're readying their bombers and making sure, going through the motions, making sure that if Putin decides to launch tactical nukes at NATO or Ukraine, that everything is ready to go. But everything is basically in position. So if Putin wanted to order a nuclear strike on Estonia or Finland or Poland or Ukraine tomorrow, he could do it. Everything is in position. So that is very, very serious, guys. Originally, this tactical nuclear exercise was only supposed to be with the southern military district in Russia, which is like along the border of Ukraine. But they unexpectedly included the Leningrad military district, which is the entire western part of Russia from the Russian Arctic up by Norway all the way down to Latvia. Okay. They also did joint so-called exercises with the Belarusians. They practiced delivering nukes with their aircraft. So, it's very, very serious, guys. We are literally just right on the verge of a major conflict, okay? Whether it's a world war, whether it's Russia versus NATO, whether there's going to be a tactical nuclear exchange, I don't know. But something big is about to go down very, very soon. And I shared a clip of the Serbian president talking about how he believes that something is going to happen within the next 3 to 4 months. He said there's going to be some kind of big conflict between NATO and Russia, essentially, within the next 3 to 4 months. And he said that Serbia has started stockpiling salt and sugar and oil because they're concerned about something happening. The Russian economy is hurting right now. We have some information about possible bank runs starting in Russia now because of the latest round of sanctions, and Russia has decided to, looks like they're going to dump the dollar and euros completely probably very soon. They stopped trading them on the Russian stock exchange. But the Rosbank, which is one of the main banks in Russia, their website was down today. People couldn't log in, and there's been bank runs. Everybody's been trying to change their money. It's just been absolutely insane. The stock of the Gazprom. Gazprom is Russia's state-owned energy company, and their stock has just plummeted in the last 2 to 3 weeks. it's just crashed. It's at the lowest it's been in like 15 years, since November of 2008 during the global financial collapse. The stock price of Gazprom now is the lowest since November 2008, okay, in 16 years. And think of all the contracts that Gazprom has. They have a lot more contracts now. They're selling a lot of oil and gas to China, but even that's not offsetting the sanctions, I suppose. So this is very serious, guys, because as the Russian economy starts to collapse, that's when Putin could start to feel more desperate. You got to remember, Putin needs to stay in control of Russia. He doesn't want to relinquish his power. And if he sees that the economy is crashing, that could push him to push the red button sooner rather than later, because he may fear that there could be an economic collapse in Russia, and then that would potentially cause, internal issues while Russia is already having a lot of external issues. And so he could decide to lash out and just drop nukes somewhere. So we have to really, really be careful now. We are in very, very dangerous times, guys. I mean, we are just, imagine the world like walking on a tightrope between, two skyscrapers. That's where we are right now. That's how serious it is, okay? And I'm not just saying that to scare you or anything. That's truly how serious it is. We are literally on the verge of a major global catastrophe. So you need to be, getting yourselves ready, getting your family ready. Make sure you're stockpiling food and water. Make sure you have a fallout shelter. Make sure you have a plan for what you're going to do if you're separated from your family members. Communications plan, a rendezvous plan. Make sure you have some potassium iodide. My Patriot Supply is actually doing a sale on potassium iodide. I just picked up a few bottles, but if you use my link, preparewith.nyprepper.com, it's actually in the description below. And Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival shared it in the chat. If you click on my link and then you click at the top, the My Patriot Supply logo, you get to their general store and you get the discounts through me. And normally, like, one of their bottles is like $25 for 60 pills of potassium iodide. Last night they were on sale for like $10 a bottle, so I went ahead and bought a few bottles. But it's really the best deal on the internet for potassium iodide. So I would recommend you guys go and get that. But make sure you have a fallout shelter. Make sure you have a bug out plan if you live in a big city. Think about your bug in plan as well. Things are really going to get crazy soon. So, make sure you're just getting prepared. David Fariello, thank you for the donation. Good to see you again tonight. You are our go-to guy. You are always there and dependable. No problem, David. Thank you for the donation, and I'm glad I'm your go-to guy. John Montgomery, thanks for the donation. I appreciate it. The Russians must know they will be destroying themselves in a nuclear exchange. How can we get away from this path of destruction? Yeah, I mean, they know the risks, but, just think of it this way. They may calculate that if they do a limited strike on Eastern Europe, that the West is not going to strategically attack Russia over Europe. I mean, Putin even said himself like 2 weeks ago, if you remember, and a lot of people think Putin is bluffing, or just like with the war, nobody thought Putin would have the balls to go into Ukraine and actually invade another country. They thought it was crazy. Oh, Putin's not going to really do that, why would he do something like that? And then he did. Not only did he actually invade Ukraine, but he's been systematically slaughtering civilians, with these air raids, they're attacking civilian population centers with conventional weapons. Basically every week, constantly, they're shelling cities, they're shelling civilian towns. Putin is basically fighting a war with a win at any means necessary to win. That's Putin's mentality. If we have to rubble cities, if we have to rubble towns, if we have to kill grandma and grandpa, we'll do it. That's his mentality. And somebody like that, they're not afraid to use nuclear weapons. He's not afraid to use nuclear weapons. And he could do it on Eastern Europe. And he already said like 2 weeks ago, okay, the mainstream media didn't really cover it, but he basically said we could strike smaller countries in Europe, and we know that America is not going to go to a full-scale nuclear war or World War III over Latvia or Lithuania or some tiny country that nobody knows about. Okay, that's basically what he was saying. So he could try to do something like that. Okay, we'll have to wait and see. But at the very least, I think he's going to try to use tactical nukes on Ukraine, which is going to shock the world. People are going to panic like crazy. So that's why I'm saying get prepared now, because when he launches tactical nukes at Ukraine or the Baltics or whatever, the panic is going to be unreal. Okay, the panic is going to be unreal. At that point, it's going to be impossible to find ammunition. It's going to be impossible to find potassium iodide, food, water. All your prepping supplies are going to be gone. It's going to be like COVID all over again, if not worse. So, just get prepared now while you can. But I think we're going to see it. I think we're going to see nukes flying. I don't know exactly where yet, but I do think we're going to see the nukes fly somewhere. I think it's coming, guys, especially once Ukraine gets those F-16s, and Ukraine is going to start striking inside of Russia with F-16s, which that's what they're going to do, because why would you give F-16s if they're not going to be allowed to strike inside of Russia? That would be stupid, right? I mean, what could Ukraine do with those F-16s if they're not allowed to fly into Russian airspace and strike, Russian, targets, high-value targets, artillery systems, air defenses, etc. So the whole purpose of those F-16s is going to be so Ukraine can fly into Russia and strike critical targets, okay? And at that point, I think that's when you're going to see Vladimir Putin say, all right, this is it. We're taking the gloves off. Now you guys are striking our territory with F-16s. And we're going to have to retaliate. And what he's going to do, I have no idea. Is he going to strike NATO bases in Poland where the weapons are flowing into? Is he going to nuke Ukraine? There's the Azov Mena prophecy, which I've talked about a lot, and I'm going to repeat it again because we have a lot of new subscribers. We're just constantly gaining new subscribers every day, so I must be doing something right. And thanks to all you guys that just subscribed to me today, and thanks for all the subscribers that have been with me for all these years. But for all you new subscribers out there, the Azov Mena prophecy is a Christian prophecy. A pastor from Oklahoma by the name of Philip Barnett had a church in Kiev, the capital of Ukraine, and he said that God showed him a future war between Ukraine and Russia, and between Russia and America. And it all started in Ukraine. The war starts with Russia invading Ukraine. And right before that invasion of Ukraine, millions of Ukrainians flee. And we already saw that happen. We already saw the mass exodus of Ukrainians out of eastern Ukraine, and out of mostly eastern Ukraine is where the Ukrainians left. And he specifically said that 15 years ago in his prophecy. He released this prophecy in like 2007. Okay, and in 2007, he said there would be two mass evacuations out of Ukraine. One would be right before Russia invades Ukraine, and the second one would be right before Russia nukes Ukraine. And he specifically mentions in his prophecy that God showed him 8 mushroom clouds over eastern Ukraine. And I forget exactly which cities, but he said 8 cities that had mushroom clouds over them. He said it was Kiev, Kharkiv, Odessa, I think Dnipropetrovsk, Poltava, I believe also like Donetsk, and there were some other ones, I think Mykolaiv and Zaporizhia, but basically the capital of Ukraine and all the big cities in Ukraine, especially the eastern part of Ukraine. He said that the western part of Ukraine would be safe, and he actually said that the western part of Ukraine would be actually untouched by Russia, as Russia in his prophecy takes the entire eastern part of Ukraine up to the Dnieper River, and the western part of Ukraine becomes like a sanctuary for Ukrainians, ethnic Ukrainians, and that area largely remains untouched. Russia doesn't nuke it or try to invade or whatever. But I mentioned the prophecy because the prophecy is just 100% dead on with everything that it says. You got to watch the original prophecy from 2007. I'll try to find a link and share it on my community page tomorrow so you guys can check it out. But the reason I think it's a legit prophecy is because he was right 15 years ago, or more actually, almost 20 years ago now, when he put this out. And he showed a map of which directions Russia would invade Ukraine from. Okay, and this is in 2007, before anybody was even thinking about Russia invading Ukraine. I mean, this was not on anybody's mind at all. Okay, this was way before Crimea. This was even like before Dmitry Medvedev was even president. Nobody was talking about this. All right, nobody was even thinking Russia would invade Ukraine. And he showed a map when he was sharing his prophecy of the directions that Russia would invade from. And it was 100% exactly the way Russia invaded. Okay, and the mass evacuation, remember, like 5 million Ukrainians left like a week before Russia invaded, that he said that would happen in his prophecy. And now we're at the point where we're getting towards the nuclear phase, where Russia's going to nuke 8 cities in Ukraine, and millions of people are going to flee right before. So anyway, I'm going to get into some other news here. Lee Billy, thank you for the donation. Wow, so generous of you. Lee Billy, I got to give you something. You've been so generous the last couple of days. I really appreciate that. If you want to send me your email, actually, I think I have your email. I just lost it, but send me an email. I'd like to give you maybe some t-shirts or some coffee mugs or something, because I really appreciate the donations, and I appreciate you being a moderator all these years. You were one of my first few moderators on the channel since COVID days, so a couple years now. So thank you very much. Greg, just to let you know that Cleveland, Ohio web system is down for 6 days due to a computer hacker. Wow, that's interesting. So looks like there was a hack in Ohio. Open Minds, thank you for the gifted memberships, 20 gifted memberships. Thank you. Lena Graham, thank you for gifting 20 memberships. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Simple Cooking, thank you for the donation. I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well also. Thank you very much. And Rebecca Q, thank you for the donation. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars, but see to it that you are not alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come. Yes, I think that we're definitely in that phase right now. And thanks for the second donation, Rebecca. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Thank you for sharing that scripture. I think we needed to hear that. That was very good, very applicable. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. So yeah, we have this B-52 right now. So like I said, Russia doing tactical nuclear drills with the Leningrad military district, which is very concerning. Also, they armed one of their warships in the Baltic Sea with a anti-ship cruise missile that is nuclear tipped, and this was part of the tactical nuclear exercises. Is that they armed up this corvette. Corvette is like a fast warship, a light maneuverable ship, and they armed it with an anti-ship ballistic missile that is nuclear tipped. Okay, so we're really close to something huge. Okay, we're really close. So please, get prepared. This is interesting. I was just tracking this aerial refueler that went off the flight tracker here. Let me see if I can play this back. Yeah, look at this, guys. So we had this aerial refueler. Check this out. It was doing loops off of Cape Hatteras. Very concerning. We've seen a lot of activity off the eastern United States because of the Russian subs and the Russian warships. They are in the middle of doing exercises right now. They're going to last a few more days. And from what I heard, this was reported by Reuters, so it's a credible information. And also it was reported by the Russian Ministry of Defense. The Russian Ministry of Defense said that they did some kind of missile test off the coast of the U.S. when they were on their way to Cuba. They launched some kind of high precision missile system. So, our government's not going to tell us about that. Okay, they're minimizing the whole situation. All right, they're saying, oh, Russia probably doesn't have, nukes. I mean, how do we know that they're not nuclear armed? How do we know? How do we know? How do we know they didn't put nukes on that sub, or on that warship? That warship can carry hypersonic missiles, the one that they moved to Cuba. Why would they move hypersonic missiles without warheads to go with it? Doesn't make any sense, So this could be like a Cuban Missile Crisis Part 2. But we do have this aerial refueler that was just off the coast of Cape Hatteras a few minutes ago. And we've seen a lot of U.S. military activity around Cuba, off the coast of Florida. Last night there was a bunch of reconnaissance here off of Tampa. We saw F-35s flying out here off the coast of Savannah. Just tons and tons of reconnaissance here ever since the Russians moved their ships to Cuba. So this is going to be an ongoing thing. All right, so now we have a Russian nuclear sub, their most advanced sub, which I'm hearing it's one of their best subs. Very quiet, very hard to detect, can carry all different kinds of weapons. And then they also have one of their warships that can carry hypersonic missiles. So, this is serious, guys, okay? Very serious, right in our backyard. So, this is going to be an ongoing thing now that we're going to have to keep an eye on. We do have this, look at this, we have a Cobra ball flying over northern Louisiana right now. We have this E-3 AWACS plane that was off the coast of Delaware, pretty far offshore. Check that out. Look at that, very far offshore, right off the continental shelf, keeping an eye on the area for any Russian warships or subs or whatever. Okay, but this is like the Cuban Missile Crisis of our time, guys. Okay, this is very, very serious. We have this Cobra ball up over Louisiana right now. This is a missile detecting plane. It can detect the trajectory of missiles. So that's pretty concerning. And then, of course, we have that B-52 in the Mediterranean right now. So it looks like the B-52 went off the flight tracker now. It looks like it disappeared from the flight tracker. Okay, but you can see this Navy reconnaissance drone in the Black Sea here. So we'll keep an eye on that. But the B-52 just disappeared in the Mediterranean here. See right here, it just, I don't know if it went out of reception or it turned its transponder off. I'm not sure, but looks like this thing is hanging out somewhere in the Mediterranean. Things are looking like they're going to really kick off in Lebanon very soon. Okay, the situation between Israel and Lebanon is not looking good. You know, with Hezbollah's continuing to strike Israel in a very vicious way. Israel's not going to continue to tolerate that. So they're going to be forced to go to war with Hezbollah. I think that could kick off at the same time as Europe kicks off. So we could have those two fronts really kick off at the same time. Israel versus Hezbollah, and then NATO and Russia, and then Ukraine. MDMD, thank you for gifting 10 memberships. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Raven Creek Charms, thank you for the gifted memberships. Wow, thank you so much. Very generous of you. David Clark, thank you for the gifted memberships. I hope you're having a good Thursday night. Yo Daddy 4, thank you for the donation. Lots of talk of preparations for potential deployments of Guard troops to Europe as we wrap up joint readiness training operations. Large focus on trench and drone warfare. Yeah, about a month ago, they sent an entire brigade from the Wisconsin National Guard to Eastern Europe, and they did training in Louisiana. And they did they did trench warfare training, urban warfare training, and forest warfare training in Louisiana before going to the Baltics and Poland. And they said that they trained in Louisiana because Louisiana has a lot of pine forests that are actually similar in the way that they look, and you know, from a training perspective, are kind of similar to the pine forests in Poland and the Baltics. So they trained them in Louisiana to kind of have like a similar terrain, you know. But that was like around the culinary night, so about a month ago, or 2 months ago now actually. They send this entire Wisconsin National Guard Brigade Combat Team, which has everything. Brigade Combat Teams are like a mini army. They have everything. They have tanks, artillery, reconnaissance, special ops, you know, everything you can imagine, infantry. It's all, you know, just a very diverse group. Rosemary Fabian, thank you for the 20 gifted memberships. I appreciate that. I hope you're having a good Thursday night. And Amy Sturdivant, thank you for the gifted membership, and thanks for moderating tonight. What's my thoughts on the FEMA detention camps? I don't know, where are they? I mean, I haven't heard anything that they've been set up or anything like that yet. But yeah, I mean, we know that FEMA has contracts with Walmart and various big box stores, so if something were to happen, they could use those big box stores as a you know, relocation center for civilians. You know, what they would actually do there, I don't know. Obviously, they could be detention centers, you know, for, you know, the purposes of controlling the population. But yeah, no, FEMA has, it's true. It's 100% true. It's not conspiracy. FEMA actually has contracts with Walmart and other big box stores to use them in an emergency. They could use them basically to house people, as housing. They would use them for housing purposes, and they could potentially use them for detention as well, depending on who the leader is and how hardcore the leader of our country is, they could use them to detain Christians. It sounds crazy, but, they could use them to detain Christians and segregate them and burn Bibles and stuff. It's very possible. I'm not saying that that's definitely what it is, but, who knows? You can never be too sure anymore. Right, more like slavery camps. Right, yeah, they could be like gulags. They could be like gulags for the American people. Simple Cooking says, Happy Father's Day to you all. Oh, thank you. I think Happy Father's Day is, isn't it Saturday, I think, right? Let's see. Yeah, Sunday. Sunday's Father's Day. Yep. Yeah, Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Make sure you say thanks to your father. All you guys out there, thank your dad for everything he's done for you. Amy Media says, a few weeks ago in Wisconsin, an aircraft that looked like a low-flying hypersonic missile flew over me in central Wisconsin. Interesting. Yeah, you're supposed to take 130 milligrams a day of potassium iodide if you're an adult. And if you're like a teenager, you're supposed to cut that in half. And then like younger kids below teenager, but not like infants or toddlers, then you cut that in half again. And then for like toddlers, you cut it in half again. Looks like the Ukrainian air raid alert was canceled. The air raid alert in Kiev, at least the capital of Ukraine, was just called off. Kumquat Singleton, thank you for the donation. Jade Helm 2015. Yes, that's right. Jade Helm 2015, right. They practiced, airborne landings on cities. I don't know if you guys remember that. Jade Helm, they did a lot of training for urban warfare in American cities and landing in American cities, stuff like that, like airborne landings in big cities and clearing out cities and stuff. I think recently they did that kind of training too, like MOUT, military operations in urban terrain. Flynn K, thank you for the donation. Saudis have advised multiple forms of currency will be accepted for oil, not just the petrodollar. Interesting. Wow. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, I must have missed that. I was busy today, so I might have missed some things. So let me just go through some headlines here. But, big news, Russia doing tactical nuclear drills with the Leningrad military district, which is right next to Finland. They're arming their Baltic Sea Fleet ships with nuclear-tipped missiles. They have their nuclear sub and their warships now in Cuba. Just so much going on here. So we have some major breaking news coming from NATO. NATO countries have comfortably exceeded a target of placing 300,000 troops on high readiness as the alliance grapples with the threat from Russia, a senior NATO official said. Okay, so over 300,000 NATO troops are now on a state of high readiness, according to a senior NATO official. Okay, so that is very, very serious, guys. Over 300,000. All right, so NATO is preparing for war. We're also hearing that Lithuania has approved conscription for 9 months of military service for all young men after they leave school. the reform will enter into force in 2026. Okay, so starting in 2026, Lithuania is going to be conscripting all young men for 9 months of mandatory military service after they leave high school. Okay, but unfortunately, I think 2026 is too late. Why are they waiting until 2026? They should be doing that now, okay? Because Russia's not going to wait until 2026. They're going to do it next month, okay? And so, but anyway, Lithuania has approved mandatory military service for 9 months starting in 2026. That is huge, guys. Absolutely huge. And the U.S. apparently sent an attack sub to Guantanamo Bay yesterday, a day after the Russians docked their warships in Havana. A U.S. fast attack nuclear-powered submarine arrived at Guantanamo Bay in Cuba on Thursday, a day after a Russian Navy fleet that also included a modern submarine pulled into the port of Havana ahead of Russian military exercises in the Caribbean that are raising tensions in the region. The U.S. Southern Command, based in Doral, said in a statement that the USS Helena was in Guantanamo Bay in eastern Cuba, where the U.S. has a base as part of a quote-unquote routine port visit. The Southern Command noted that the vessel's location and transit were previously planned. Yeah, right. I don't believe that for a second. One Southern Command official told McClatchy that the Helena's movements were scheduled before the U.S. learned of the Russian deployment plans. Yeah, I don't believe that at all. The Navy saw no reason to alter previously planned routine activity in response to Russian activity in the region, the official said, but the timing and optics of a U.S. nuclear submarine arriving in Cuba when Russian warships are in Havana are being seen as another effort to send a message of strength to Russia. So this is crazy, guys. Okay, we moved a nuclear-powered fast attack sub, the USS Helena, to Cuba now. All right, so for all we know, war could kick off right in our backyard. I mean, what if they start going at it? What if the Russian sub and the American sub decide to test each other out, and see, what the other's made of, and they start launching torpedoes at each other and, dog fighting underwater and stuff. And, it could happen, guys. This war could break out right in our backyard. World War III could break out right in our backyard, right? Just 100 miles offshore from Florida. It could happen, guys. So let me just see if I can get some information here about the USS Helena. Hold on one sec here. I want to read a little more about the USS Helena. So we have a U.S. Navy fast attack sub arriving in Cuba literally one day after the Russians moved their sub there. Let's see. I'm trying to find some information on this. Let's see. There's very sketchy information about. There's not a lot of info on this USS Helena. There's not a lot of. Let's see. Yeah, so the Helena is a subsurface nuclear. So it's a nuclear-powered fast attack sub. Looks like SSN 725. Looks like an old sub, but I can't find a lot of specs on it to see what kind of armament it has. Sorry, I missed some of the super chats here. Let me catch up on the super chats. EM, thank you for another donation. I'm in North Louisiana, location of the Cobra Ball. Yeah, the Cobra Ball is over northern Louisiana right now. Yep. It's flying over northern Louisiana. Keep your eyes to the skies. You might see it. Let me see if I can zoom in so you can see. Right now it's flying over Minden, Louisiana. So I don't know. It looks like it's going to be heading over Jackson, Mississippi. The way that it's going, it looks like it's going straight for Jackson. Looks like it's going to be flying near this highway here. It looks like I-20. It's like just north of I-20. Hopefully that helps. Janusz, thank you for the donation. Greg, the U.S. Navy has just dispatched a nuclear-powered Los Angeles-class fast attack sub. Yes, I just talked about it. Looks like great minds think alike. Thanks for the reminder. Rosemary Fabian, thank you for the donation. How do we bless you for your time? You just, watch my channel, hit the thumbs up, comment, share the videos, share the live streams, tell your friends and family about me. And then if that's not enough and you want to do more, you can check out my sponsors, purchase some prepping and survival items from my sponsors, which will help you. And it'll also help me a little too. You can also donate if you want to use a super chat here in the live stream, or you can go to my PayPal. My PayPal's in the description. Just know that if you donate here through YouTube, YouTube takes a little bit for themselves. Ross Niderman, I appreciate you. Thanks for all your help. I appreciate you, Ross Niderman. What does a Cobra Ball do? A Cobra Ball is a special plane that is used to detect the launches of ballistic missiles, and it can track their trajectories. That's their primary function, is to detect the launch of missiles from long distances, like Russia or something. They can detect a missile launch. It's like an early warning system, basically. And then also they can track the trajectory and help with, accuracy of predicting a trajectory. So this could potentially mean, if this thing is up in the air, it could mean that there is a threat right now to the homeland, that maybe Russia's, because of their tactical nuclear drills, they could be getting ready to launch something here in the U.S. and we've dispatched the Cobra Ball to keep an eye out for any potential Russian ballistic missiles that could be launched towards us, So this is very serious, though. Let's just see. The B-52 still is off of the flight tracker. So, yeah, very weird situation here. Yeah, so this USS Helena arrives in Cuba, okay, one day after the Russian attack sub arrived in Cuba. Absolutely insane. But I'm trying to find specs on this sub, and there's like nothing about it. The USS Helena, SSN 725. Let's see. Oh yeah, here we go. There is a small, it says that USS Helena is scheduled to be decommissioned in 2024. They're going to decommission this one, but I guess they sent it to Guantanamo. So that's funny. They sent one of their older subs to Guantanamo Bay. It was commissioned on July 11th, 1987. Its home port is Norfolk, and they were going to decommission it this year in the Puget Sound. Let's see. Its propulsion is one, looks like PWR nuclear reactor with a D2W core, pressurized water reactor. So it's got one pressurized water reactor with two steam turbines. Let's see. It includes 12 officers and 98 enlisted personnel. It has 4 21-inch bow tubes, 10 Mk-48 ad-cap torpedo reloads, Tomahawk land attack missiles, Harpoon anti-ship missiles, mine-laying mobile captor mines. Yeah, so this Helena is no joke. Wow. And they were going to decommission this thing, so it carries Tomahawk missiles, guys. That's an emergency alert right there. The U.S. deploying a nuclear sub with Tomahawk missiles to Cuba now. Yeah, that's not a pre-planned thing, okay? That's clearly a response to, Russia. So this is crazy, guys. Wow. Yeah, they're not gonna decommission it now. Yeah, it's emergency alert criteria. That's right. That's right. So this is insane, guys. So this thing can carry Tomahawk missiles, anti-ship missiles with a range of 70 nautical miles. Yeah, this thing is a beast. A beast from the east. Wow. Stand by 1 second, guys. Here, I'm just going to share this out on my Twitter. One second, guys. Just want to share this out on my Twitter. We do have some interesting stuff with the Russian buzzer again. The Russian buzzer is making some weird noises. So So this is crazy, guys. Tomahawk missiles, absolutely insane. Let me let you guys listen to the Russian buzzer for a second. Russian buzzer. This thing is making some weird, is behaving strange. Hold on. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. Okay, so looks like the Russian buzzer is working now, but it wasn't working earlier, so that tells me that they were transmitting data across the Russian buzzer, encrypted data. So this is what it sounds like now. Let me let you listen. So if you listen closely, you can hear that buzzing noise, like buzz, buzz. And sometimes in the last couple of days, that buzz would be gone, which means that they were transmitting something on the buzzer frequency. So the buzzer's working good now, but let me just play something for you. So here we have earlier, right before the stream, in the afternoon, we had it making this kind of noise. So they were transmitting something earlier. Now it seems like the buzzer is back. It seems to be working normally. But they must have been transmitting something earlier. And that could be why we have that Cobra ball in the air. You know, there must be some kind of threat to the homeland if they have that Cobra ball up. Let's see, the Cobra ball is now over. Wow, look at that, guys. They're probably keeping an eye on the Russian so-called exercises. Look, it's right over the panhandle of Florida now. You see that? So probably keeping an eye on the Russian exercises here in the Gulf of Mexico. But there could potentially be some kind of threat to the homeland as well. Wow, something's wrong with the internet. I don't know what's going on. My internet just went down. I see people are not really too patient, and 2,000 people left already. Wow, I see people are not really too patient. Wow. Looks like there's a lot of people having this issue. Yeah, the internet just dropped off for like 2 minutes and everybody left. Wow. People have no patience anymore, huh? It's insane. Looks like maybe it was a worldwide thing, maybe, because I see a lot of people saying that they had issues. Maybe it's a global thing. Who knows? My bandwidth is fine. I've never had any issues with bandwidth here. I live in the countryside, so I don't have any bandwidth issues. So that's right. They aren't hardcore NYPrepper followers. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I can't believe 2,000 people just dropped off so quickly like that. Wow. It's crazy. It's choppy. Okay. Well, you just have to be patient, you know. I don't know why it's choppy still. It's probably the connection. EM says, thank you for the... EM says, I saw a plane flying to my east that wasn't on flight tracker. Must have been the Cobra ball. Pics suck, though. Sorry. Yeah, no problem. It's cool that you got to actually see it, though. I mean, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. What's going on, Victoria F? Has there been any solar activity lately? It's been pretty quiet lately. Sun has been pretty quiet since the last big solar flare. It's been pretty quiet. Am I still choppy? Can you guys hear me? Is the connection good? Someone says Steve Quayle said that there was 11 Russian subs in the Atlantic before the U.S. sub sent to Guantanamo. Yeah, it's very possible. I mean, we just don't know. I mean, everything is always minimized. You know, I personally think that might have just been like some kind of cyber attack. I mean, it seems like everybody had the same issue. It seems like it was just either a cyber attack or maybe they were just trying to shut down the internet. You know, the internet kill switch, which our government has an internet kill switch. They can just literally flip a switch and shut down the entire internet in an emergency. So, you know, it's insane. Maybe they were testing the kill switch. Who knows? Steve Quayle said 11 Russian subs off the west coast. Yeah, they're getting ready to cut comms. Yeah, Steve Quayle is awesome. He's a great guy. He shouts me out a lot. He's a nice guy. So yeah, I'll check on the solar activity. Tammy says you're fine now, and probably a lot are trying to refresh. I had to on the TV. Phone was okay. Howdy from the Black Hills. Tons of Blackhawks lately. Wow, that's not good. Blackhawks in the Black Hills. That's not good. Got Ellsworth right there. Yeah, I know you live in the Black Hills, Tammy. You're regular by now, so I remember you. Yeah, it's true. A lot of people may have shut down their chat and then tried to restart. That's true. I just know from experience that people these days are just so impatient. I've been on some live streams where it's like people just cut out immediately. It's like if you lose your connection, people just quit. It's like people just don't have patience anymore. We live in the TikTok world now where you get everything in 60 seconds or less. People just don't have that kind of patience anymore to wait things out. I don't know. I didn't mean to come across harsh, but it's just my experience. What is SAR when you click on a military vessel? SAR usually means search and rescue, but it could mean something else in the vessel finder. Andrew Pickett, thank you for the donation. Did I hear MS-13 leader known as one of the 12 disciples of the devil was arrested in Houston? Wow. It's a good thing they caught him. No, I didn't hear about that, but that's very, very concerning. That's crazy, actually. That's pretty insane. So let me just go over some more headlines here. Now that the connection is stable. So let me just check here my notes. So yeah, the Rosbank website is down. That's one of Russia's main banks. Multiple Russian banks are preventing clients from logging in because they don't have liquidity to give clients their money due to the new U.S. sanctions. What's going on here? Got some weird transmission coming in. So yeah, a lot of Russian banks are preventing clients from logging in because they looks like there's bank runs going on in Russia basically right now. So that's not good. Biden said today at the G7 meeting, I received the support of 5 allied countries. Everything we have in weapons and everything Ukraine needs will be provided. There was some kind of a fire at a Russian military contractor site in Moscow at the Sukhoi Design Bureau. Okay, the Sukhoi Design Bureau is one of the leading enterprises in the development of aircraft in Russia. So there was a fire at the Sukhoi Design Bureau. Okay, Sukhoi is one of the main fighter jets, the Sukhoi fighter jets that Russia uses. The Houthis struck another ship today, the merchant vessel Verbena in the Gulf of Aden. Apparently, the USS Philippine Sea medically evacuated an injured mariner. Today, the Iranian-backed Houthis launched 2 anti-ship cruise missiles into the Gulf of Aden. Both missiles struck the MV Verbena, a Palawan-flagged Ukrainian-owned Polish-operated bulk carrier. MV Verbena most recently docked in Malaysia and was en route to Italy carrying wood construction material. The MV Verbena reported damage and subsequent fires on board. The crew continues to fight the fire. One civilian mariner was severely injured during the attack. Okay, so the Houthis hit this ship in the Gulf of Aden. One mariner severely injured, getting medically evacuated. Okay, that is not good. Okay. Iran has rapidly installed 2 more cascades of uranium-enriching centrifuges at its Fordow site and began work on more while also planning others at its underground plant at Natanz, according to the UN nuclear watchdog IAEA. All right, so Iran has built 2 more cascades of uranium enrichment centrifuges at the Fordow site, and they're planning to build more at Natanz. Okay, so that is not good, guys. Okay, Iran is building up their nukes. They're installing new centrifuges. Okay, this is very, very serious. So Iran is enriching uranium at a rapid pace. They're trying to get a nuclear weapon. Very bad news. We have various Israeli media sources saying that the chances of an agreement between Israel and Hamas are basically zero now. No peace deal, it looks like, from what we're seeing. So definitely not good. Attacks by the Iranian-backed Houthis in the Red Sea have affected the interests of 65 countries and 29 major energy and shipping firms, according to a new report issued by the U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency today. So very interesting. 65 countries and 29 major energy and shipping companies affected by the Houthis. In Poland, after 7 months of investigation, no decision was made to bring charges against a Polish soldier who shot an illegal immigrant in the Białowieża forest along the border with Belarus. Very interesting. So a Polish soldier shot an illegal immigrant trying to cross into Poland from Belarus, and no charges were brought against him. And we have some interesting video footage coming out of Israel. They were using medieval weaponry near the border with Lebanon. Let me see if I can get that up on the screen, because you guys got to see this. This is crazy. Crazy footage here. See if I can share that. So check this out, guys. This is absolutely insane. Just totally insane. This is in Israel. This is just absolutely insane. What's going on, Z Kelly? Thanks for showing up. Hope you're doing well. I'm eating tacos and listening to Greg. Oh, that's cool. What's going on, Cats Don't Care? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, the sub is scheduled to be decommissioned. Yep. Amy Sturdivant says I am multitasking. What's going on, British Perspective? How's it going? Serena Smith. Yeah, this is crazy. Look at this. This is just insane. So thought I would just share that because that was pretty interesting. Let's just see where this Cobra ball is going. Looks like it's heading for Central Florida right now. Very interesting. Let's see, we got some activity here in Asia. Wow, look at this, guys. This is pretty unusual. Look, we have this American aerial refueler flying near Russia, near Russia's far east here. Let me see if I can just make this bigger. This is not too common. We have this RC-135. This is some kind of, actually this is a reconnaissance plane. We have an American reconnaissance plane flying near Vladivostok. That's pretty interesting and very unusual. They normally don't really fly over here. So something's brewing with Russia here. Maybe they're flying here to keep an eye on North Korea. Maybe, North Korea is going to launch missiles into the Sea of Japan. That's a possibility. But this is very strange. So maybe North Korea is about to test something, and that could be why we have the Cobra Ball up, But we do have this reconnaissance plane here near the Sea of Japan. So that's kind of concerning. Nothing around Cuba yet. It's pretty quiet around Cuba here, but I'm sure we'll see stuff pop up soon. Ross says something is going down tonight. I can feel it. Yeah, something is going down tonight. I agree. So yeah, we'll just monitor that for now. Pretty strange situation. It's pretty concerning. So let me just check some more headlines here. Let's see. We're hearing tonight that there were some powerful kabooms in Russia. Powerful kabooms in the Rostov region of Russia. Looks like the Morozovsk military airfield was attacked by Ukrainian drones in the Rostov region of Russia. Apparently, dozens of planes are bombarding. Wow. So Ukraine launched some kind of huge strike on this airfield in Rostov, which is like western Russia, close to the Crimean Bridge. We're getting some information coming in about some of the targets tonight in Russia's attack on Ukraine. So let me update you guys on that. So we're hearing in eastern Ukraine, looks like Zaporizhia was hit with ballistic missiles. Also, UAVs flew to western Ukraine. Khmelnytsky was targeted by UAVs, and also Cherkasy and Kharkiv. Looks like a combination of Shahed drones, the Iranian drones, and a bunch of ballistic missiles and cruise missiles. Looks like they targeted a lot of parts of western Ukraine, though. We're hearing, too, that Ukraine hit an oil depot in Voronezh region of Russia. And also there were some kabooms heard in the region of Kursk. We have the Chinese Vice Foreign Minister Sun Weidong saying that the U.S. deployment of a missile system in the Asia-Pacific region will ignite an arms race. So if you guys are not aware, the U.S. deployed a long-range missile system in the Philippines a few months ago. It's the Typhoon Typhoon missile system, which is like a kind of like a IRBM, intermediate range ballistic missile, and they deployed it to the Philippines, and looks like China is bitching about that now. But let's see what other headlines here. We have this statement here from the State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller. He said, the report issued today by the IAEA makes it clear that Iran aims to continue expanding its nuclear program in ways that have no credible peaceful purpose. These planned actions further undermine Iran's claim to the contrary. If Iran implements these plans, we will respond accordingly. Iran must cooperate with the IAEA without further delay to fully implement its legally binding safeguard obligations. Until Iran does so, the IAEA Board of Governors will continue to hold Iran to account. We remain in close coordination with our partners and allies and are prepared to continue to increase pressure on Iran. So interesting. We will respond accordingly is what Matthew Miller is saying. Let's see what else here. The Israelis launched a massive airstrike in Lebanon. They eliminated 14 members of Hezbollah and other Iran-backed groups. So Israel launching a massive airstrike on Hezbollah tonight. So very serious situation. But yeah, it looks like Russia's Morozovsk Air Base, which has around 30 Sukhoi 34 and Sukhoi 35 fighter jets, has come under Ukrainian attack with drones. So that's pretty interesting. So we're hearing that a senior Hezbollah official was eliminated in an airstrike in the village of Janta in southern Lebanon. So looks like they eliminated over a dozen Hezbollah high-ranking officials, and looks like they eliminated a very senior commander. There were some kabooms reported in the Belgorod region of Russia tonight. Apparently, the Ukrainian drone attack in Rostov has caused blackouts. Russian air defense units faced a mass attack of drones in the region's Morozovsk district. Governor Vasily Golubev said the attack caused a fire and left some areas without power. Wow. It looks like Hezbollah is probably going to launch a very serious strike on Israel now after this airstrike by Israel. I think Hezbollah is gonna do something crazy, so that could happen in the next few hours, even. Ross Snyderman says, pray for the whole world. That's always a good idea. Serena Smith, thank you for the donation. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. Hope you're having a good Thursday night. Thank you so much. Thanks to everybody who donated. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Z Cali says, Excedrin, migraine, magnesium, and potassium supplements can help with migraines. That's a good idea. Sorry to hear that you have a migraine, I think, Vanessa. Sorry to hear that. Good night, cats. A lot of Red Dawn talk on Dave Hodges and Steve Quayle. Yeah, it's coming, guys. It's coming. Now Iran is speeding up their enrichment. It's really bad. The South Korean I might be back now. Let's see. This is strange, guys. I've never had this happen before. This is very weird. Yeah, maybe they don't like what I'm saying. I don't know. I think it's I think it's some kind of cyber attack, honestly. Culinary is messing with Greg. That's funny. Did I pay my internet bill? It's in the middle of the night here. I don't really. I live in a rural area. There's not a lot of people around, so I don't think it's a bandwidth problem. Um, I have the highest internet package available for my area, like highest data rate. So I don't know what's going on, and it's weird. Yeah, it's none of my internet was working at all while it was buffering. Very strange. I checked the network, no major outages. It might take time for them to report outages. It's not instantaneous, but yeah, there. I see that Spectrum. If you go on Spectrum, you'll see that Spectrum just had a spike, and also Verizon. Yeah, huge spike. Let me see if I can get it up on the screen. Just because everybody's thinking that it's my crappy internet or something. So just to prove you wrong. So here's down detector. And if you look right here, you can see Verizon and Spectrum. You see that big spike right there? Let's just show you. Let's look at Verizon. Look. Huge spike. 465 reports at 12:20 a.m. That was the first issue about 30 minutes ago. You can see the big spike 30 minutes ago. That was right around when I had that issue. So yeah, it's not my internet. And then here we have Spectrum. Spectrum also spiked up. So it's an internet. It's a internet backbone issue. It's looking like Spectrum and Verizon are showing some. So we could be under a cyber attack right now. Who knows? Could be under a cyber attack, or there could be some other issue, hardware issue or something. So yeah. So just to prove all the trolls out there saying it's my internet that's bad, there you go. So we'll just keep an eye on that and see what happens. Yeah, there's no rain or heavy storms. Ross says cyber attack. Solar storms. Okay. They do maintenance at these hours. Yeah, that is true. They do maintenance at these hours, but I've never had this issue before. It could be, but it's hard to say. I've never had this issue before. I mean, once in a while. Dustin P, thank you for the donation. Your videos make me feel like a prepping superhero, ready to face any future challenge, one canned bean at a time. Keep up the great work, Cap'n NYPrepper. That's cool. That's funny. One canned bean at a time. Yeah, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. That's funny. Disclaimer, thank you for the donation. My brother is currently stationed in Guantanamo Bay. He said he was surprised when he woke up and saw a sub, but also said no information is being given. He's in the U.S. Marine Corps. Wow. See that, guys? We have someone here who has a brother in Guantanamo Bay in the Marines saying no info is being given about that. Phil Prepper, thanks for the donation. Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea are enemies of the U.S. now. Yeah, I did hear about that. Paleo Greenbird, thank you for the donation. Paleo says close the window and reopen. It fixed it for me. Yeah, sometimes you may have to restart to get everything to work again. British Perspective, thanks for the donation. War is not the answer. The question is the answer. EM, thank you for another donation. Crappy internet or not, we still love you. We still love you. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Semper Fi, says Michael Gale. Yeah, this could be a Cuban Missile Crisis 2.0 in the making. Absolutely. Absolutely could be. Prepper X says hail in Colorado. if I could play this video for you here about Jens Stoltenberg talking about nuclear weapons. Very concerning. Let me see here. Former Zaporizhia nuclear power plant employee receives 10-year sentence for collaborating with Russia. A former employee, blah, blah, blah. A pre-trial investigation of the employee was carried out by the Security Service of Ukraine, Zaporizhia Oblast office, according to prosecutors. In court, the man was found guilty of collaborating with Russian authorities while holding a senior position at the occupied plant. Wow. So a senior employee of the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant was collaborating with Russia. Wow, that is crazy. In his capacity as a senior official, he assisted Russia in illegally classifying the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant as a subject of the Russian Federation and in issuing new licenses for the use of the plant's nuclear energy in Russia's power system. Wow. Russian attacks are pushing Ukraine's energy system toward a worst-case scenario. Wow. Ukrainians could face up to 20 hours of blackouts a day under a worst-case scenario if the country cannot repair and properly defend its energy infrastructure from Russian attacks. Executive Director of Ukraine's largest privately owned energy company, DTEK, told the Kyiv Independent in an interview on June 9th. The company has assessed various scenarios, with the worst being based on a continuation of the status quo, a dearth of air defenses to protect critical infrastructure, and the financing to make repairs. Even if the country makes repairs without missiles for air defense systems, Russia can easily keep targeting the energy system as it wants. Under what it considers the worst-case scenario, DTEK itself would continue to run with around 10% of pre-war levels of thermal power generation, and deficits would be around 2 to 4 gigawatts per day. The deficit across the whole system will be around 25%, undoubtedly leading to long blackouts. Wow. So, yeah, there's going to be like very long blackouts in Ukraine now is what they're saying. Wow. It says here, in this scenario, large plants could start feeling the absence of electricity in November. Defense enterprises could feel the squeeze in December, and crucial infrastructure like water and sewage systems in January of 2025, the company assessed. This is very close to realistic right now regarding what will happen this winter. We are heading very quickly to this scenario. Wow. Zelensky said that peak energy consumption last winter was 18 gigawatts. Half of that is gone now. Wow. That is crazy, guys. Ukrainian oil and gas giant Naftogaz CEO said at the conference it will be impossible to get another 9 gigawatts by winter, even if the country will be able to repair some infrastructure before then. So it's looking like Ukraine is heading for a very dark and cold winter this year. Very dark and cold winter this year. It doesn't look like they have enough time to repair everything. So that's going to be a really bad situation. How often do I check my emails? Usually once a day, but I don't always have time to respond to everybody's emails because I get a lot of them. So, but I do check my email once a day, and I skim through to see if there's anything important. But it's tough for me to respond because I get a lot of them. So Jay says you're on fire tonight, Greg. How long does it take to enrich uranium? From what I understand, it takes like, I don't know, a week or so. They could enrich uranium in Iran in like a week, enough to make material for a bomb. Won't take too long, from what I understand. Um, the live feeds are from Kaliningrad and Pskov. Um, Pskov in Russia. On the bottom right is Pskov, which is this live feed on the bottom right is on the highway that leads to Estonia. So if we see any Russian military movements going towards Estonia, we'll see it on that camera on the bottom right, because that highway is going directly to Estonia from Pskov. So if Russia were to invade, they would potentially use this highway. On the bottom left is Kaliningrad. That's the Russian city in the Baltic. Do I believe a dirty bomb is more likely than an actual country sending a nuke due to deniability? Yeah, that's a possibility for sure. But dirty bombs don't really do a lot of damage, so it's kind of a waste of time, Dirty bombs are just for radiation. They don't really do a whole lot of damage. And these days, with the preparation that first responders have, they could quickly evacuate people and cordon off an area, super fast, and that would just minimize casualties, to very low, almost no casualties, depending on where they detonate it. So no, dirty bombs are a thing of the past. They're not really a threat anymore. What's more concerning is an illicit weapon, which would be if, let's say, Russia gave a terrorist group a nuclear weapon, a nuclear warhead, and that terrorist then went into New York City in Grand Central Station and detonated a small nuclear weapon, and that's a possibility. But again, they wouldn't do that simply because then obviously the U.S. would know that it was somebody who gave them that weapon, because they know that these terrorists don't have the capability to build a weapon, and then there's a chance that we would find out who did it, and then we would strike them. So yeah, I would say no. I don't think the chance of a dirty bomb, in my opinion, it's gone. It's a thing of the past. They don't really do much damage, dirty bombs, and even an illicit nuclear weapon I'm not super worried about at this point. It's just those are things from the past, We're prepared for all that now, so it wouldn't really be that effective. For all the effort that they would put in, it wouldn't be too effective for them. Sherry Lee, thank you for becoming a member of the channel. I appreciate it. Good night, Amy. Yeah, cobalt bombs. Cobalt bombs are very serious. Yeah, I'm very concerned about cobalt bombs. Timbo Slice says Spectrum is down in North Carolina. Yeah, it looks like we could be under some kind of a cyber attack, or something's going down, because the internet keeps having issues here. There was a lot of reports of something going on Down Detector. Spectrum and Verizon reported issues about half an hour ago. We have some news on the banking front in Russia. Several Kyrgyzstan banks partially suspended operations with Russia. Wow. And Armenia left the CSTO. That's like the Russian NATO. Armenia left the CSTO. Um, so things are really heating up, guys. Jailed U.S. reporter Gershkovich to be tried for espionage in Russia. Russia has formally accused. Aaron Gershkovich, a U.S. citizen and Wall Street Journal reporter who has been jailed in Russia for over a year, will stand trial in Yekaterinburg on charges of espionage. Gershkovich was arrested in Yekaterinburg in late March 2023 while working on a story about the Wagner mercenary group's recruiting methods as well as Russian citizens' views on the full-scale invasion of Ukraine. He was jailed without charges for over 14 months as authorities repeatedly extended his pre-trial detention. Russia formally accused Gershkovich of spying for the CIA and finalized his indictment on June 13th. The prosecutor general's statement did not set a date for the trial. If convicted, Gershkovich could face a prison sentence of up to 20 years. Wow. Absolutely insane, guys. And sometimes I think our country is bad, but man, that's insane. 20 years in prison. It looks like there were multiple kabooms in western Ukraine tonight, as I reported earlier. I'm trying to find more info on that. But it looks like Russia's strategy is just to keep pounding Ukraine's energy infrastructure to the point where there's like none left. Which is where Ukraine is at now. Looks like basically they have like no power plants left anymore. They're all destroyed. Poland scrambled several fighter jets to their border with Ukraine tonight during the attack on Ukraine by Russia. Pretty interesting news coming out of New York. The governor of New York is considering banning people from wearing masks in New York City subways. Apparently, she's concerned about people committing crimes and wearing masks to hide their identity. It's pretty funny because they make masks mandatory, and if you don't wear them, you go to jail. And there was actually footage of people getting arrested in New York City, thrown to the ground because of not wearing a mask. And now it's the opposite. Now they're going to ban masks. It's almost like they want people to get sick or something ahead of this bird flu. Maybe they want the bird flu to spread or something. I don't know. But yeah, we have the bird flu. That's another thing. The bird flu is continuing to spread. More places are getting the bird flu now across the U.S. So we got to keep an eye on that, and the timing with everything going on with these wars, and then now the bird flu at the same time. It's just like a perfect storm, to have the bird flu go down at the same time as the wars, you know. So that could be what they're planning. That could be the next big thing, the H5N1. Wow, look, the Cobra Ball is now looping near Cape Canaveral. You know what that Cobra Ball is doing? They were supposed to launch a rocket. They were supposed to launch a space rocket. That's probably why it's flying there. It's looping around Cape Canaveral. But that doesn't explain the RC-135 that's flying off the coast of North Korea and Russia. That's pretty interesting. We're getting some conflicting reports about this airstrike on Ukraine tonight. Looks like multiple cities were hit again. We're hearing from Egyptian media sources that the Israeli airstrike on southern Lebanon overnight apparently eliminated Hashim Safi al-Din. He's the head of Hezbollah's executive council, the most senior official in Hezbollah besides Nasrallah. Wow. So that is huge news, guys. The second most senior member of Hezbollah, basically the vice president of Hezbollah, has been killed by Israel. Okay, so expect a massive escalation in the coming days. That is very, very serious. Wow. Wow, that's pretty serious. So Hezbollah is definitely going to try to retaliate somehow. For sure. They're going to try to retaliate now. Look at this RC-135 keeping an eye on Russia here. This is interesting. Look at that. Wow, Russia and North Korea. And you can see here this U.S. Navy drone flying super close to Crimea. Look at that. Wow. That's insane. And very close to Novorossiysk, which is where Russia has a lot of their ships now. So it's possible that Ukraine may strike Novorossiysk tomorrow or something. But the B-52 disappeared from the flight tracker somewhere over here. Once it got into the Mediterranean, it just disappeared. EAMs are quiet right now. We have a P-8 Poseidon arriving in the Baltic Sea at the moment. Check it out. We got a P-8 Poseidon in the Baltic Sea right now. Someone said happy birthday. Looks like I missed a birthday. Sorry about that. I wasn't looking at the chat. Let me see. Whose birthday was it? Cobra Ball is circling Long Beach. Yeah, it's probably because of the SpaceX SpaceX launch. Probably because it's either SpaceX or some other kind of launch. They're supposed to launch something. Russia sent ships to the Gulf. What do you think the U.S. will do in response? With this government that we have now, I don't think they're going to really do anything. They might send. They sent a sub to Cuba, so maybe I would hope that they would at least monitor it and send some of our subs close by to trail them and see what they're up to. And I do believe we deployed three warships to the area, Arleigh Burke class destroyers. So the Arleigh Burke class destroyers, can intercept missiles in case Russia were to launch missiles, at the U.S. They could shoot them down. So they have the Arleigh Burke class destroyers. They have the sub in Cuba. I think that's probably an adequate response. They're probably just monitoring them for now. But looks like they're moving things in position so they can intercept things if necessary. Andrew Pickett, thank you for another donation. Russia is keeping all eyes on Ukraine so they can't sneak into our backyard, in my opinion. Interesting. I'm a little confused. Interesting. Maybe if you can elaborate on what you mean by that, I'm a little confused. But thank you for the donation and for your prior donations. Visiting guest, thank you so much for the generous donation. Hope you're having a great Thursday night. Hold on one second, guys. I'll be right back. I just got to take an allergy pill. Andrew Pickett, thank you for another donation. If I thought like Russia, I'd get as close to the U.S. with as many weapons as possible undetected, while the U.S. and everyone else was focused on Ukraine. Exactly, yes. That's very, very good point. Yes, okay, I understand what you meant now. Sorry about the static. I'll increase the squelch a little bit to get the static off. Um, yeah, that makes a ton of sense. We're very focused on. Wow, weird. A lot of static. Um, yeah, we're very focused on Ukraine, and then they move everything into Cuba, and so yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually. Um, kind of attack us from behind essentially. Like a turning maneuver. In warfare, they have the turning maneuver. Something like a turning maneuver. We're watching cities in Russia. On the bottom left is Kaliningrad. On the bottom right is Peskov, close to the Estonian border. We currently have a sub-hunter in the Baltic Sea. Check it out. It's flying over the Gotland Island, actually. Wow, interesting. Very interesting. So that's all the breaking news that I have. Yeah, I tried to raise the squelch. Yeah, I did hear about the International Space Station. It's a very strange situation. They claim that it was some kind of an exercise, but I don't see why you would do an exercise like that. As far as the sun goes, there's no space weather to be worried about at the moment. And let's just see what's going on with the hurricanes. Let's just keep an eye on the hurricanes. Oh, wow, look at this. We have some kind of tropical disturbance off the coast of South Carolina. Wow. Let me see if I can get that up on the screen. Tropical disturbance off the coast of South Carolina right now. Check it out. Look at this, guys. We got a tropical disturbance. 20% chance of formation in the next 48 hours. Satellite data indicate an elongated area of low pressure offshore of the southeastern U.S. coast is producing some disorganized showers and thunderstorms. Despite strong upper level winds, some gradual development is possible while the system moves northeastward offshore of the southeastern U.S. coast during the next day or so. By this weekend, the system is forecast to merge with a front over the western Atlantic. Regardless of development, heavy rainfall is forecasted to continue across portions of the Florida Peninsula through late this week. So I guess this is what's causing all that flooding. There's also a chance of a depression forming in the Gulf soon. The Bay of Campeche, they were saying. So very interesting there. Let's just see the latest La Nina forecast. Let's see. Let's just check out the Atlantic Hurricane Outlook. This is their official Atlantic Hurricane Outlook. Above normal season for the Atlantic. 4 to 5 major hurricanes, 8 to 13 hurricanes, 17 to 25 named storms. So the Atlantic has an 85% chance of an above normal season. Wow. That's not good. Below normal season for the Pacific. We have some footage coming out of Florida. Looks like they're setting up Patriot missiles in Florida. I can't confirm if this is just a show or not. There's some footage coming out of Patriot missiles being set up in Florida somewhere. Looks like some kind of an air show or exhibit of some kind. Interesting. So yeah, looks like Israel assassinated the second in command of Hezbollah, and apparently also the co-founder of Hezbollah was killed as well. Subhi al-Tufali. Interesting. Looks like a message may be trying to come in. Hold on. What's a lot of static here. Huh. Sounds like a message is trying to come in. That's weird. Wow, it looks like the U.S. military received some pictures, released some pictures of the B-52s in the Baltic Sea, dropping some bombs in the Baltic Sea or something. So it's like an above normal season for the Atlantic Basin hurricanes. Let's just see what the latest situation is with the El Nino Southern Oscillation. Wow, that P-8 Poseidon appears to have landed in, or maybe it's just overflying the Gotland Island. Look. Yeah, it's just overflying it very low. Interesting. And we don't know where that bomber went, but the aerial refuelers are still going towards the eastern Mediterranean, so the bomber's probably still somewhere in the eastern Med. We got some Russian VIP planes, possibly doomsday planes taking off from Moscow. Oh yeah, it looks like Putin's plane is heading to Sochi. Look, Putin may be going to his what's it called? His dacha for the weekend. Maybe Putin's going to his mansion, the one that he has on the Black Sea there. What's going on, Davis 08? Paleo Greenbird, thank you for another donation. I really appreciate it. Paleo Greenbird says, thanks, Greg. Always a good night when I catch you live. Can't thank you enough. It really helps us focus our prepping on what is most likely high priority needs. Greetings from Maine. Thank you so much, Paleo. You're the man. I really appreciate all your support. It's very nice of you. Thank you so much. If I ever go up to Maine, I'll have to stop by and visit you somehow. So yeah, it looks like we have Putin's plane going to Sochi. He must be going there for the weekend. EM, thanks for the donation. Greg, thank you again for what you do. Can you give or donate this to the mods? Great bunch of mods you got. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll definitely figure out a way to send that off to the mods. Thank you, EM. That's very nice of you. I'll find a way to distribute that somehow. Thank you very much. Yeah, the mods are awesome here. Rodney Middleton, Kincoy, and Z Cali are still here. Thank you for staying up. Yeah, thank you guys very much. The moderators here are just fantastic. How's it going, Daniel? Good to see you. Yeah, I know you've been here for a while, Daniel. I know. We still have this RC-135 here looping off of Vladivostok. Look at that. That's insane. Still looping there. And then we have potentially Putin's plane over here. Oh yeah, look, there's a bunch of other planes following it. So yeah, it's most likely Putin going to his mansion on the Black Sea. Check this out. We got this P-8 sub hunter here patrolling the shoreline of the Gotland Island. Wow. It's insane. Thank you, T.W. Perry. That's really nice of you to say. Thank you very much. Hope you're doing well. There's conflicting information about the F-16s. Some are saying that they're going to arrive, very soon. I mean, it's a lot of conflicting information, so I don't even know when they're going to get those F-16s. Just so much conflicting information. First they said they would get them in the spring. Now they're saying the summer. Some are saying the end of the year. In my opinion, I don't think they're going to get them soon just yet because they still need a lot of training. Learning how to use a F-16. It's not like learning how to use a lawnmower. So it's going to take a long time. Perhaps Putin is throwing a party. Yeah, he could be, yeah. He could be. James says, Greg, we are still being lied to. Oh, yeah, we're always being lied to. Absolutely. Skipperton, thank you for gifting 10 memberships. I really appreciate it. Michael Gale says, I'm heading to bed, not feeling good. Sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah, I've been feeling kind of weird myself lately, the last few days and last week or so. Not like sick, just a little off. I don't know why. Sometimes it could just be, different things going on. No, the well pump is still acting weird. I got to figure out why. The well pump is still acting weird. Good to see you, Duramax. Putin better not invite Culinary to the party. Yeah, that would be funny. I don't think Culinary would accept the invitation. Culinary's too busy. He's got EAMs to transmit. Yeah, it's the energy of the world. That's right. It's the energy of the world. Thanks again, EM. EM has been a big supporter of the channel. Thank you so much, EM. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I hope you feel better, Michael Gale. But very interesting, this P-8 here, the sub hunter, is looping over this island. This is a Swedish island. And, Sweden has always been concerned that Russia could try to attack this island if there was ever like a war with NATO and Russia. So they're monitoring this area heavily now. Yeah, we can see this looks like Putin's plane, and there's a bunch of them going down there. You see that? There's like 3 other planes going down to Sochi. So yeah, Putin is probably going to Sochi for the weekend. I imagine that's my thought. The pump is getting loud. It's most likely the bearings. Yeah, it's not the actual well pump. It's the flow. The water doesn't want to stay in the system. It drains out. So I don't know if it's what the situation is. On the bottom of the screen, we have video footage, live footage coming from Kaliningrad and also from Pskov, which is a city in Russia right next to Estonia. There's a highway, as you see on the bottom right, that goes right to Estonia from Pskov. And if there was ever any kind of Russian attack on Estonia, we would see it on that camera as they're going towards Estonia. So, and then on the bottom left is just downtown Kaliningrad. That's the city in Russia and on the Baltic Sea. Crusher says, I like the Trail Boss. I paid $29K for my Trail Boss in the summer of 2019, and now they are $45 to $50K. Yeah, the Trail Bosses, the new ones are like $60K now. They're a great truck for sure. I love mine. It's a good dual truck, especially for off-roading. It's crazy how this MQ-4C Triton just disappeared. Oh, look at this, guys. Look what we have going on here. Let me see if I can make this bigger. This is interesting. This is the same thing that happened the other night. Look at this. So these aerial refuelers met... You see this? This is a Eurofighter Typhoon. So the Typhoon is probably escorting that B-52. Check that out. Look. Or maybe they're practicing a mid-air refueling with the Eurofighter. I don't know. Check that out. That's interesting. So, yeah, we still don't know where this B-52 went. It just went down here and just disappeared. Very strange. Yeah, you can clearly see here all these Russian planes going to Sochi. That's most definitely Putin. This particular plane, the 214PU is one of Putin's planes, so very interesting. Yeah, things are really getting crazy, guys. It's just absolutely crazy. I think we're right now in the calm before the storm. Unfortunately, I think things are about to get really insane. I don't think we've seen the main event yet. Yeah, it looks like Putin is going to Sochi for the weekend probably, unless he's going to North Korea, which I don't think so. When is Putin going to North Korea? Yeah, I don't know. He could be going there now. Maybe this is news is reporting Putin is going to North Korea. Yeah, so maybe this is someone else going to Sochi then. Are there still subs or ships off of the west coast? I'm not sure, to be honest. I don't see any indications that they're there. Lately, I haven't seen them, but they could still be there. I haven't seen as much activity on the west coast. It seems like now they're in the Gulf. E6 Mercury just took off. Okay. Yeah, someone's going down to Sochi. I don't know who. I don't know if it's Putin or, whoever, but someone's going down to Sochi, some VIP, because they have the VIP plane, the Putin's presidential plane is going there, so it has to be someone important, obviously. We do have some interesting activity. Speaking of the West Coast, let me show you what we have on the West Coast now. We do have some interesting activity here. Let me see. What's this? We do have some activity here. Check it out. Look, we have this Navy reconnaissance drone. Actually, this is from the Australian Air Force. Wow. Interesting. Flying in this area here. We've seen a lot of activity there recently. Yeah, we do have an E6 Mercury in the air right now. Rough 01. We still have this reconnaissance going on. Heavy reconnaissance here off of Vladivostok. Very concerning. Very unusual. B server says mod him up. Who are you talking about? UK Urban Prepper, how's it going? Good to see you. I'm not sure who you're talking about, who I should make a mod. Oh, Daniel? Yeah, I'll consider that. Yeah, I mean, Daniel's got a lot of good info for sure. I just like to take my time because I've had some situations where I made people a mod in the past and I made them a mod too quickly and they ended up, not being the best mods. Like, kind of going rogue and doing all kinds of things. So I like to just take my time to see how people are first. But I'm definitely going to keep Daniel in mind for sure. Caddy, Connie, have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Okay, Mapper, have a good night. I wonder if I should leave the stream up overnight. What do you guys think? I left it up a couple hours the other night. Maybe I can leave it up again. Z Cali says I'm fine either way. Okay. Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate all your info and all your support. I'll definitely keep you in mind. Darian Rain says, I heard a bomber fly over here in the Black Hills a little bit ago. That's interesting. One of our subscribers here said earlier in the stream that they heard a lot of military helicopters flying over Rapid City, Black Hills area. Rodney, yeah, I'll probably be going to sleep in a little bit. Not right now, but probably in a little while. Because it's getting late here. But yeah, so I'm going to eventually have to go to sleep. That's interesting about the bomber flying over the Black Hills. Yeah, there's a bomber base in near Rapid City, so... Okay, Fred, have a good night. I'm not going to sleep just yet, but... Daniel says heading back to the radar. Sounds good. Thank you, Daniel. But yeah, we have a lot of interesting stuff going on tonight. A lot of interesting activity here. This recon plane in Japan area is really concerning. It's quiet near Cuba right now, though. Nothing going on near Cuba. .6:53 a.m. in England. Okay, Amy King, have a good night, Amy. Thanks for tuning in. Might be nice to check in later. Things are too quiet at the moment. Yeah, it's very quiet. Okay, Jessica, have a good night. Yeah, I used to compete in powerlifting. When I was younger, I competed in powerlifting and strongman competitions, so I was actually a lot stronger back then. I'm still pretty close to what I was back then, but I was lifting even more back then. Yeah, it's unusually quiet. Yeah, no EAMs right now. There was a bunch of EAMs earlier, but it's quiet tonight. Earlier this afternoon, we had some EAMs going out to bombers. Actually, I have a clip of that. Let me see if I can play a clip for you. Hold on. Okay, Rodney Middleton. Have good luck with painting the gear. Sounds good. Thanks for moderating. It was good to have you. And have a good morning or a good day, I guess, in Australia over there. Let me see something here. I wanted to just play this EAM that was going out to bombers. This was earlier. This was earlier today. This was going out to bombers earlier today.
November, Delta, for Tollbridge.
You hear what she said there? For, I don't know, Tollbridge or something? That's some kind of bomber.
For Tollbridge. November 3, Papa, 7, Delta, 60, Hotel.
So that was earlier. Heaven's Love, thanks for the offer. We have a lot of mods right now, but I'll keep you in mind. I'll definitely keep you in mind. 4 p.m. in Australia. Yeah, she said Tollbridge, yeah. No, I'm 6'2". 6'2". I'm a black belt in martial arts. I was very competitive and got quite high up. Duramax said we have a SDR situation. That must be an issue with his radio, is what he's talking about, I guess. An issue with his radio. No, I don't have any kids yet. I want to have kids, though, soon. Vincent Loomis says, Jade Helm, 10 sectors in America, and each country has their own amount of sectors of FEMA camps. Yes, that's right. That's right. Kathy Paina from Hawaii. Good to see you, Kathy. How did the woman make out with her car with the GoFundMe? I was curious if she was able to get it sorted out. Yeah, she still needs some more money. If you guys could donate, if you're willing to help. Her engine blew up on her car, and she's, in tight financial situation right now. Let me see if I can share that GoFundMe. One moment here. Let me see. Here we go. This is the GoFundMe here. What I'll do is I'll put a link in the chat. If you guys want to help out, she needs money for a new vehicle, a used vehicle, or to replace her engine. Her engine blew up. She had some financial difficulties, so it's been hard for her to get a new vehicle. Yeah, I'm going to share the link right now. Hold on. I'm going to share the link right now. Thank you, Z Cali. Cuban number station. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, the Cuban spy stations, they always play at a specific time. They're on like a schedule. I don't know exactly what their schedule is, but they have a specific time that they always broadcast. So I don't know if that's part of the scheduled broadcast or if it's something else. So yeah, I posted the link. I pinned it to the top of the chat if you guys are interested in helping out this subscriber of mine. Her car blew up. She's a single mom of 2 girls, 16 and 7. She had some issues with her job. She has also some injuries that prevent her from doing a lot of different jobs. She got into a car accident and has some neck issues. And so her engine blew up basically, and she needs some money to repair the engine or get a used vehicle. Let me see. The Cuban spy station is playing Duramax. Let me see what frequency. Looks like we got encrypted traffic being broadcasted. Yeah, her username is Ingrid Perez. That's her username. Yeah, they could have changed to a covert frequency. It's very possible. That's what I suspect. Oh, 10860. Okay. They could be using ALE potentially for EAMs lately. That's why we haven't been hearing them that much. Wow, that sounded funny. Thank you, Z Cali. I appreciate you sharing that out. Thank you very much. So I'm probably gonna cut it early tonight, guys. I've been very busy the last couple of days. I have so much going on. So I don't know. I'll probably I don't know if I'll leave the stream up overnight or if I'll shut it down. But I probably should get going. I have some stuff I got to do tomorrow. More work on the well. Get the well fixed up. So, but I'm going to keep monitoring the situation, obviously, and keep you guys updated. I'll try to go live tomorrow night also. I may leave. I don't know if I'll leave the channel up overnight or what. I know some people like to hang out in the chat even when I'm not here. So I don't know if I'll leave it up. Maybe I'll leave it up. I'll probably actually leave up the stream. That's probably what I'll do. But I may pop in and out in the chat and say hello or something. Peggy McGuire says, God bless you, Greg. I'll catch up with you and this gang. See you later, Peggy. Thanks for tuning in. It's always good to see you. What's going on, Diviso8? Christy says, Greg, Times, what does this say here? Times News now has showing videos of the sub in Cuba with Navy men standing on the ship and the sub with insane Russian music playing. It sounded so scary. That music is creepy. Yeah, it's like, it's crazy. This whole situation is just really spiraling out of control. I mean, World War III could break out right in our backyard, you know. Kinkoi says, I'm going to bed. Sounds good, Kinkoi. Have a good night. Yeah, thanks for everyone's kind words and donations. I really appreciate it. It's always fun hanging out with everyone here. Yeah, no problem, Diviso8. Power is out in eastern Ontario. Oh, wow, that's concerning. Air raid sirens in Belgorod. Mark says, I'm going to need you to stay on 24/7, 365. I wish I could. I would actually enjoy that. Tough it out, 24/7, 365. Heaven's Love, thank you for the donation. So glad I found your channel. Oh, I'm glad you found me, and thank you for the donation. Hope you're having a good Thursday night, and hope you have something interesting planned for the weekend. Yeah, keep your powder dry. The Russian music is creepy. Yeah, it's like we're living in a movie or something. They are just showing off by blasting the anthem. Yeah, pretty much. I couldn't agree more. Definitely. So I'll be back tomorrow with more breaking news. Crusher says best source of real news is this channel. Oh, wow. Thank you. That's very nice of you to say. Thank you so much. Did I see the video earlier of Russia calling to attack Washington? No, I didn't see that, Elisa. Maybe you can send it to me or something. That's very serious. Wow, we have a lot of planes going to Russia or to Sochi. Look at all these planes going to Sochi. 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like a sixth one. All of them are going to Sochi. And then look at this MQ-4C Triton in the Black Sea flying near Crimea. Very interesting. So a lot of interesting stuff going on. Yeah, somebody's going to Sochi right now. I think it's probably either Putin or Medvedev. Mayhem says, I sleep better with the stream up, but thank you either way, Greg. Okay. Yeah, that is one of the craziest things, Z Cali. It is one of the craziest things. It feels like a movie. Trucker Jim, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Wow, look at all these planes going down to Sochi. Very interesting. And we still have, I think we probably still have the RC-135 over here. Check that out. Looping, doing figure eights over here next to Russia. SDR situation, that's just the radio. SDR is software defined radio. It's just a radio. Could mean anything. Okay, Kinkoi, have a good night. They're having a party there as long as Culinary isn't attending. That's funny. That's pretty funny. Yeah, look at this. Massive amount of planes going down to Sochi right now. Very strange. Wow. There's a lot of planes going down to Sochi. Yeah, culinary is sort of like an inside joke. It's the call sign of a radio operator. There was a very tense night 2 months ago when Israel was planning to strike Iran, and there was this radio operator by the name of Culinary. That was his call sign, and he was just very calm under pressure, to say the least. And so he became sort of a legend here on the channel. Hopefully we can see Culinary again at some point, or hear him, but he's become sort of a legend because of how calm he was during that whole situation when basically we had the nuclear forces on maximum alert with pistol cocked, ready to launch, and he was just super calm. Yeah, this country is going to hell in a handbasket. That's true, and it has been for a while. Yep, very true. The Kremlin said that its Navy vessels in Cuba pose no threat. Yeah, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I mean, they wouldn't attack us with it. That would be stupid, but you know, you never know. Putin is getting pretty crazy. The biggest news overnight, basically at the top of the screen, if you go look at the top of the screen, the ticker at the top, you know, the U.S. moved a nuclear-powered sub with Tomahawk missiles to Cuba literally a day after Russia did it. So we now have a U.S. sub and a Russian sub both in Cuba, which is just absolutely insane. And the possibility of a miscalculation now is just very high because of that. Yeah, the Cobra Ball in Orlando is because of a space launch. Is it still looping around Orlando? If it's around Cape Canaveral, that's because of a space launch. If you look up the schedule for NASA, they were supposed to do some big launch. I think they were going to send something up to the ISS, so that's what it is. But yeah, that's the big news. And then Iran is building 2 new centrifuges at the Fordow and Natanz nuclear facilities for uranium enrichment. So Iran is you know, enriching more uranium to build nukes. So that's also very bad. There was a missile attack on Ukraine. No word yet on the damage. We know that Ukraine launched a massive drone attack on the Morozovsk facility in Rostov, Russia, which is an airfield. Massive drone attack by Ukraine there. There were also some scattered attacks across Russia by Ukraine. We're also hearing some very bad news about Ukraine's energy. Apparently, Ukraine, their energy is basically at a situation where they're going to have blackouts of 20 hours per day because like 90% of their thermal power plants were destroyed. So it looks like this coming winter is going to be very tough, probably the toughest winter for Ukraine since the war started, because Russia has been bombarding so much infrastructure. So, other big news is that the Russian tactical nuclear drills that were only supposed to be in the southern part of Russia also included the western part of Russia along the border with Finland. So, that's not good. So they were doing tactical nuclear exercises with the Leningrad military district, which is right on the border of Finland. So, yeah, that's some of the biggest news. Why would they use their biggest sub for an exercise? Well, it's not the biggest sub, but it's their most modern sub. So I totally agree. Yeah, it's definitely not just for an exercise because it's going to stay there for several months. It's going to stay there for several months. So, yeah, I don't think anybody wants to fight Russia. I don't think anyone wants to fight Russia. Russia's the one that wants to fight everybody else. Russia's the one that invaded Ukraine. Russia's the one sending subs to Cuba. So I don't think no one really wants to fight Russia. I don't think. Maybe some of the people in NATO, the crazy leaders of NATO and stuff, maybe Macron and these crazy clowns, But I would say most people don't really want to go to war. It's probably just some of the Western elites, maybe. Yeah, Cuban Missile Crisis 2.0. Absolutely. I think. Well, I don't care what Colonel McGregor says. I don't really care. He doesn't know anything. It's clear that McGregor is obviously working for the Russians, so he's not an independent person. He's definitely defending Russia all the time, no matter what. He's not independent. He's not looking at things objectively. He's just supporting Russia all the time, no matter what. Putin is God, Russia is the best, America sucks, NATO is evil. That's all he talks about all the time. I mean, if you want to watch him, that's fine, but I think he's full of crap most of the time. And that's kind of stupid logic anyway. How could Ukraine start anything when Ukraine is literally like 5% the size of Russia? I mean, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. You see how big Ukraine is compared to Russia? So how could Ukraine attack Russia ever? They're so small. I mean, it's like saying that Guatemala started a war with America. I mean, we would crush Guatemala, That's like what this is. This is like Honduras versus America is what Ukraine versus Russia. It's similar. So yeah, that's a bunch of BS. Yeah, McGregor has headworms. Uh, Russia protesting down the street to hit Washington. I didn't get a chance to check out Watchwoman 65's latest video. I haven't had a chance. I'll check it out. Um, she's a nice lady. I'll have to listen to it. I've just been too busy. I was busy today all day. I just haven't had a chance to. It's hard when you when you have a YouTube channel. It's hard to watch other YouTube channels because you're just so busy, making videos that it's hard to find the time to watch other people. Like I don't even watch YouTube at all, actually. To be honest, I have no time. I just if I watch YouTube, it's just like some nothing news related or prepping. Actually, I don't even watch much prepping stuff. Oh, she mentioned me today. Okay. Blue Angel says I like Watchwoman too. Watchwoman has been worried for weeks about the rapture any minute now, according to her. Yeah, I think she's probably right. Based on what's going on, I mean, there's just so much going on, and now with the bird flu coming out, it's just insane. British Perspective says it's like a spider trying to take on an elephant. Yeah, you got to be careful with a lot of those, like Scott Ritter, some of these other guys, they try to come across like they're pro-America, but they're not, because they actually hate America and they're pro-Russia. So they're not patriots. They don't care about America. They don't care. I don't know about McGregor, but like Scott Ritter, he's not a patriot. He's all about Russia first, constantly bashing America, constantly bashing Israel. Um, so these guys, they try to play into certain groups of people. They're very sneaky and manipulative. You got to be careful. You can't be naive. A lot of them are just propagandists trying to warp your brain, and make you think like opposite of what's really happening, and manipulate you. Yeah, Scott Ritter, he's a pedophile. Yeah, he's a scumbag. That's my thoughts about him. He's a pedophile, convicted pedophile, went to jail for it. He likes teenage girls for some reason. He's tried on several occasions to meet them. And people listen to this guy, all because he's pro-Putin. People listen to him like he's some kind of hero. Meanwhile, he has a affinity for teenage girls, Yeah, correct. He was charged in the state of Pennsylvania for trying to meet a 16-year-old girl who was actually an undercover cop, and he got in trouble twice for it. So he clearly has some sickness, But yeah, people watch him, mostly the people that just hate Ukraine and want to see Ukraine destroyed and all their people killed. And there are people out there like that. For some reason, there's people out there that just want to see Ukraine destroyed, and they're supporting, like, they literally want to see Ukraine destroyed. I don't know why, but there's people out there like that, and they're not even Russian. I'm not talking about Russians here. I'm talking about Americans that just despise Ukraine for some reason and want to see it annihilated, and they cheer for Russia when they launch these strikes. And Scott Ritter is the cheerleader, former pedophile, traitor. Basically, he's a traitor, working for Russia essentially as an agent. So yeah, that's my opinion. He also talks very bad about Israel. Scott Ritter he absolutely hates Israel. So yeah, he's not a man of God. He's not a patriot. He's a bad news. I wonder why people hate their own country, even if you don't agree with the politics. Yeah, I don't know why. It's unfortunate. There's a lot of people that just don't understand how good they have it here. Neighbor's grass is always greener. Scott Ritter, I think he might live in Russia now. I think he's trying to get citizenship there. But he should be arrested for treason. I mean, he's basically a Russian agent at this point. They should arrest him and confiscate all his devices and stuff. And I'm sure he's working for Russia. I have no doubt. Wow, check this out, guys. Look at this. Look at this Navy reconnaissance drone here, supposedly operated by the Australian Air Force. Look where it's flying here. Something must be going on here off the coast of California. We also have a nuclear war command and control plane in the air. Very interesting. Check this out. The sub hunter is looping like crazy over the Gotland Island. I've never seen that before. That's really weird. Look at that. Just looping like crazy. Absolutely insane. Oh, I got to tell you guys an interesting story that happened tonight. Before I went live, I went to this area. If any of you guys have ever seen some of my videos of the elk in Pennsylvania, I filmed the elk, and there's an area that I go to where there's a lot of them, and I set up some trail cameras there to keep so I can watch the elk from home. And somebody cut the wire to the solar panel on one of my cameras. I was going there today to check on it because I logged into my camera from my phone because it's a cellular camera, and so I can check it from my phone, and I can actually control the camera, move it up and down, left to right, whatever. And it has like a mini solar panel attached to it, and there's like a little wire that goes to the camera from the panel, and somebody came in with wire cutters and cut it. That kind of pissed me off, to be honest with you. I don't know why somebody would do that, but maybe some, drunks or meth heads or something. I don't know. Or maybe some drunk meth heads. But that really pissed me off. It's just very bizarre that they would do that. And they didn't damage the camera. They didn't try to steal the camera. Sometimes people try to steal those cameras, but they didn't do that. They just cut the little wire that goes to the solar panel. It's just very strange. Yes, Scott Ritter, yes, it is in the court records. But yeah, people, they're still listening to this guy. Yeah, I normally don't like to talk bad about other people. But if I know someone's full of crap and it's just so it's just so bad. I can't sit quiet, you know? Like Scott Ritter, I mean, I think Scott Ritter's going to end up getting arrested again soon, either for trying to do his pedo thing again, or maybe for some weird treason stuff, you know? But yeah, there's a lot of people that love Scott Ritter simply because he's just such a hateful, nasty person. I mean, if you ever listen to what he says about Israel or Ukraine, I mean, it's just nothing but pure hate that comes out of his mouth. It's just the nastiest thing, nastiest stuff. It's like he wishes for Ukraine to be destroyed or Israel to be destroyed. And then he's a registered sex offender, Scott Ritter. He's a registered sex offender. Yeah, I can repair it. I'd have to splice the wires together. It's just like one wire that was cut and then some other wires were damaged. But I have to like splice it together. But now it makes me wonder if I want to even put the camera in the same spot. I got to find a new spot, because if those meth heads come back and try to cut it again, they could try to cut it again. So I got to find a separate spot now that they don't know about, you know. So I'm probably gonna wind down the stream. Um, I gotta get some sleep. It's getting late here. Um, Thank you, Z Cali, for staying up and moderating. KFT says quiet before the storm. It wasn't rape. It was he. You can read about it. He tried to meet a undercover cop that was pretending to be a 16-year-old girl or something like that in a chat room, and he like exposed himself to the undercover cop, and she was like pretending to be a teenage girl. He tried to like meet in a somewhere in Pennsylvania in the Poconos. Just some other weird stuff. There was like 2 instances. My favorite movie of all time. That's a good question. There's so many good movies, you know. It's hard. I don't know if I have like one favorite movie, but um, I like a lot of the 80s and 90s movies. Action movies, science fiction. I'm a big fan of science fiction. Science fiction and like action movies are my favorite. Like Terminator or stuff like that, you know. Starship Troopers, yeah, alien stuff. Showgirls, that's funny. Showgirls, yeah, I remember that movie back in the 90s. Lord of the Rings, Aliens. Yeah, those are all really good movies. Gone with the Wind. Bruce Lee, Chuck Norris, Saturday Night Fever. Yeah, Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris. I remember all those martial arts movies back then were so awesome. RoboCop. Yeah, RoboCop, such a classic. Such a classic. Grease, that's funny. Tamanrod, have a good night and God bless you as well. Until next time, have a good day tomorrow. And hope to see you on the next one. The Last Starfighter. Transformers. The Naked Gun. So I'm going to shut it down, and I don't think I'm going to leave it up tonight. I think I'm just going to shut it down. And I'll be back tomorrow with more breaking news. Is Cuba going to be the next Ukraine? Possibly. Maybe a Bay of Pigs type invasion. Bay of Pigs. So have a good night, guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. And thanks for everybody's support. It's good to hang out with you guys. Thanks to the moderators. I'll try to start going on a little earlier. Tonight I was late because I had stuff to do, but I'm going to try to start going on earlier. So take care, Omen. Thanks for tuning in. Good night, Mayhem. Good night, KFT. Z Cali, thank you very much for staying up. So I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 P's. Prepare, practice, and persevere. Culinary out.